The rare Tuesday fixture in the USL Championship, and it is a pivotal one in the playoff chase in the Eastern Conference as Loudoun United hosts Indy 11 from Segra Field in Leesburg, Virginia. Happy to have you with us this evening alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. And Ricky, as we take a look at the standings, we see exactly why this one is so important. Everybody hunting Loudoun for that 8th spot in the playoffs right now, and Loudoun, with a win, could catch up to 6th place Indy on 44 points. So it's a big 6-point swing, and Loudoun's in this position above the line because of their win over Hartford last time out.
What a massive result this was for Loudoun United. Ryan Martin was really pleased with how his side played as a collective unit on both sides of the ball. They were good defending, they scored 2 goals, and what he was most impressed, the players who came onto the field to provide an impact and a spark. Massive 3 points for Loudoun United on the road.
And this is really a new chapter in the story of Loudoun United. Remember their past being affiliated with DC United. They always had players coming and going. They could never really have the pen in their own hand. Different this year for Ryan Martin. They were able to grow after 2023, their first year as an independent club. Now they have a chance to make the playoffs for the first time ever. And Wesley Leggett has been a diamond in the rough that's turned into a gem for Loudoun United.
Was challenged by the coaching staff to be more direct in his movements into the final third, whether it was goals, whether it was assists. He's really active. He likes to stretch the back lines. He's really instinctual in the finishing, scoring last time out, expecting to be full and motivated to test this Indy 11 back line.
And for Indy 11, how do you emotionally respond? You had a chance to beat your bitter rivals, first place Louisville on the weekend. You lose, or not, rather tie last second on a goal scored by the boys in purple. Can you respond now?
I think if you're Sean McCall, you're looking at consistency because you played well. You got up early, not once, but twice. But now, how do you get consistency over the course of 90 minutes, shutting the doors on team? Massive opportunities for Indy 11 here on the road at Loudoun to continue to push up this Eastern Conference.
And as they try to solidify this playoff berth here in the 11, this is the road ahead. They're playing teams that are all above the playoff line right now, teams that they haven't had great success against this year, except for that one win against Birmingham. So it's a difficult run-in now, looking for 3 big points today, and Augie Williams is a big reason why they're in this position.
I think he's a complete forward, can do a little bit of everything in the book, whether it's dropping down into the build-out phase, but also getting in behind the back lines. He's really clever with his movement. Like he likes to play off the blind side. Augie Williams needs to be really active here tonight if Indy 11 have any hopes of taking all 3 points.
Now, these teams met 3 months ago, a distant memory now, a 1-1 draw when they met in the reverse fixture in Indy. It is Indy 11 visiting Ryan Martin and Loudoun United, and it is coming your way next on ESPN+.
DC News Now, bigger and only getting better.
Join us as we welcome Susan Tran to the DC News Now team.
Decades of journalism experience, a steadfast commitment to community, and an energy we can't wait for.
Susan Tran joins DC News Now, super serving the DMV with Susan Tran at the anchor desk.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on DC News Now.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Gas prices got you fuming? No need to get heated. Save time and money with Metro. Ride, save, explore. Metro. Make your trip monumental. Sightsee through DC without overspending on gas and ride shares. Experience DC the local way. Ride, save, explore. Metro.
DC News Now is only getting bigger.
We're taking over the DMV with a regional approach to news that fits your needs better than anyone else.
With multi-state traffic patterns, we're giving you a narration that really helps you get around.
Giving you a larger scope of the area so you're better informed of incoming weather. Because if it's raining in Chantilly, it's probably not raining in Bethesda. Yet.
DC News Now.
The station in the know, in the community.
And covering more ground than anyone in the DMV.
Players, officials taking the field here at Seger Field in Leesburg, Virginia. Big matchup in the Eastern Conference playoff chase between Loudoun United and Indy 11. Time to meet the starting 11, beginning with the home-standing Loudoun United side. And Ricky, this team is missing Zach Ryan from the starting 11 today. They have him on the bench. Who steps up in his absence?
You look at that front three, Leggett, Williamson, and El Medkar. El Medkar might come a little bit deeper, so now you have Leggett and Williamson pushing high. But it all comes down to that middle four, Aua and Ting. You look for their work rate on both sides of the ball. Tommy McCabe and Johnson, that balance as one goes yellow and needs to provide coverage in front of this back three.
On the other side now for Indy, there could be a lot of interchangeability among that top three. It's so fluid.
So fluid. Augie Williams, Douglas Martinez can flip-flop. One pops in a little bit deeper. One, Malik Foster making that run to really test this back line for Loudoun United. But how good can this back three be? Despae, Ofeimu, and O'Brien to keep everything in front of them.
We are ready to get things going here at Seger Field. It will be Loudoun in the black from left to right, Indy in the red from right to left, and we are underway from Seger Field on a Tuesday night in the USL Championship. Glad to have you with us alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. A lot of physical play there, and Augie Williams does get called for the foul. That is going to be quite the battle with Keegan Hughes all night long. Hughes, the center back out of Stanford, is originally part of the Columbus Crew, signed a homegrown deal, made his way here to Loudoun this season. And on the other side, Augie Williams, one of the most prolific goal scorers in the USL Championship. They will be at it all night. In a team that actually plays rather similarly stylistically to Louisville City. That's a bonus here for Indy, coming off this quick turnaround Saturday to Tuesday, something that Sean McCauley touched on, where they don't really have to dive into any prep because they know Loudoun's going to prevent the same issues that Louisville brought in. You
already see how comfortable this Indy 11 side is in their defensive structure. You have Douglas Martinez and Augie Williams as both going to push them to that back three. So now Malik Foster, how do you really cut the supply into McCabe and Johnson? Because those two players, they want to get on the ball. They want to dictate tempo for Ryan Martin and this Loudoun United side.
Chipped over the top, looking in behind for Wesley Leggett. And out for a Loudoun throw. That win this weekend for Loudoun over Hartford was a statement. Ryan Martin very happy with the performance. He's been involved in this organization for a long time, going back to his time as a DC United Academy coach. That win over Hartford, maybe one of the biggest that they've enjoyed in his time. Look out here, given away carelessly for a corner. But Ricky, that game was so pivotal in the Eastern Conference playoff chase. If you reverse the result, where it was Hartford beating Loudoun, we're talking about Loudoun in 11th place and Hartford above the playoff line in 8th. Instead, it's Loudoun in 8th and Hartford in 11th. That's how tight things are. These 6-point swings. Another one here today where with a win, Loudoun is level on points with 6th place Indy. With a loss, everybody behind them can pass them this weekend.
It was really impressive. You look at this Ryan Martin side, the way that they went and approached that game against Brendan Burke and Hartford Athletic, it was the balance for me that really stood out, because you look at that Hartford Athletic side, they're just so transitional, so explosive to get a clean sheet, number one, but to find the back of the net twice. Expect this Loudoun United side to be full of confidence here at home.
Look at this setup on the corner here from Indy. Something off the training ground. Almost looks like a basketball play. Everybody going to go in motion now. In swinger, top of the 6, headed away. Rising to meet it, Giannis Learman. Back in, still loose. Comes all the way out, thinking about a volley there. Was Lawrence Wooten, and it's all the way back instead for Malik Foster. Took an awkward deflection, almost into the path of Augie Williams, and now Leggett wants to go. Pass off target. Keegan Tingy, someone that Ryan Martin put the spotlight on this week, unsung hero of the group. Keegan Tingy. these teams lining up in a 3 center back set with wing backs. Always interesting when you have teams in that same setup against each other. It's just cat and mouse game of which wing backs can force the issue, get higher, join the attack. Something brewing here for Indy. It's Foster, and he's got to have a shot blocked by Giannis Learman. Almost trickled out for a corner, only a throw.
Just mentioned the tactical similarities between both of these sides, but the only difference is that front three. Blake Foster plays a true number 10, so you overload essentially. Expect him to make those runs from a deep line position out of underneath Alki Williams and Douglas Martinez. So now if you were this back three for Loudoun United, passing players off and communication is going to be really important for your success.
Pay. Pressure coming from Tommy Williamson. Williamson, the 25-year-old striker, starting in place of Zach Ryan today, who could be an option off the bench. Ryan leading the way this year in the goal-scoring department for Loudoun. Williamson coming in for him. Only his 4th start of the season, has 2 goals. He's had some good success in this league in the past, mostly in his time with Pittsburgh back in 21.
Be really interesting to see the movement from Tommy Williamson. Just talked about how congested that middle part of the field is going to be. So as an attacking player, how do you drop back and supply a little bit of a different look to play into? This action, he just drops in. Good pickup from Learman. So you need a little bit more of that consistency for Ryan Martin to relieve some of the pressure that you're going to be under.
Rookie keys to the game. What do you got for us?
We talked about that midfield battle for Loudoun United versus the overloaded for Sean McCauley. So how do you win and dictate the tempo? And for Indy 11, you talked about them being very similar against Lou City, so you need to stay compact defensively. You cannot allow Tommy McCabe and Johnson just to break through you. So how tight can those lines be for the visiting side?
Indy allowed 31 shots against Louisville over the weekend. It was a Louisville side that did see a little rotation. Granted, they essentially have an A team and a B team, and the B team probably finishes somewhere in the middle of the Eastern Conference table as well. But after that midweek for Louisville over Miami, they rotated on the weekend, still managed 31 shots against this Indy team, but it took until late in stoppage time to find that breakthrough on the second goal, come away with that 2-2 tie that won Louisville the Players' Shield. But nonetheless, it was a good showing for Indy against the top team in the league. Williamson seeking out Leggett. Tingy. There's one toward the back post, nobody home. Rescued by Johnston. It's been a quietly productive piece of the midfield for Loudoun. Isaiah Johnston is being acquired in the summer from Huntsville City. On the turn, Williamson trying to have that same sort of impact that you see on Zach Ryan.
The second time now we've seen Williamson drop off the shoulder of Cameron Lindley, and just to be that focal point to play in between. So really clever and good start for the attacking player.
And that was Loudoun's first official shot on target. Tonight's shots are brought to you by Smoothie King in the DMV. Try the new Dude Perfect Smoothie at Smoothie King, packed with real fruit, vanilla protein, kiwi apple juice, frozen yogurt, blue spirulina, and turbinado. Get yours now, only at Smoothie King.
Fan or no?
Smoothies? Like in general, or like those flavors?
Those flavors. Try everything once.
I will say yes.
All right, there you go.
The kiwi apple juice is what has me intrigued. Like that could go one of two ways. It's either going to be overpowered by the kiwi and the bitterness that comes with that, or it's going to just taste like apple juice. I'm not sure which one's going to win out.
Don't know until you try it.
I gotta have to have it. Then. About 3 different players screaming Doogie to have Martinez playing the ball. I don't know if any of the players who were screaming for it got it as he went wide, and they reset from the back. Sending Leggett on the run again. 8 goals this season for Wesley Leggett, and a free kick on the way for Loudoun.
Talked about it in the open. Ryan Martin really challenged Wesley Leggett to be a little bit more intentional with his movement. Understanding the high line for Indy 11. So the spaces in beyond them. Well, Famu, not a lot of contact. But experienced players understand if you touch any attacking player, he's going to go down. He's going to make the most of it. No need for Indy 11 to concede this foul, and good opportunity for Loudoun.
McCabe stands over the free kick. McCabe started every game so far this season for Loudoun. Midfield goes as he goes. Only 1 assist though on the season. Chance to double that here on this free kick. You see the total passes, second in the East, just gives you a glimpse at how much he's touching the ball in the midfield and driving things. Free kick, not his best service. To Ben Mines. Flag will stay down here. Good ball in behind. Finds Foster going for goal. First save of the day for Hugo Farouk. And out for another Indy corner.
Second time Malik Foster has made this run in vertical movements. But I love the patience. Little peek over his left shoulder. Said it's a little bit late to play this ball across to Douglas Martinez. Why not call my own number? Hits it extremely well. Has eyes for that far post, but good save from Farouk, and even better reaction from his defenders to not allow a rebound.
Swinger into all that traffic. Loudoun holds strong again. Wooten tries to get across frame. Not sure what that clearance was. It's going to bounce out for another corner with a spin on it. Lindley coming over to take this one. Second year for Cam Lindley as an instrumental piece for Indy 11. 2-time All-League second team each of the last 2 years, in 2022 with Switchbacks and last year with Indy. Drops this one in, edge of the 6. It's 3 for 3 for Loudoun. Defending strong on the corner. Secondary ball presented a danger, but Loudoun holds strong once again. Coley, head coach of this Indy 11 side, had a chance to catch up with him before this match, and it's been interesting to keep track of the ups and downs of this Indy team. They made that deep run into the semifinal of Open Cup. It certainly had an impact. Between the quarterfinal and the semifinal, 1-4-2 record. Since that entered their rearview mirror, 2-1-3, only 1 loss in their last 6 games. So as much as they try to deflect and say one has nothing to do with the other, it takes a toll on a team, especially second division team here in USL Championship in that tournament. Ball to the back post here. It's going to fall for a chance for Loudoun, blocked. And that volley is going to leave the yard here at Seger Field. Back to this Indy 11 team. It's good to see them come out of Open Cup and get back to what they were, because before the Open Cup run, as great as the run was, this was a team that was up there contending with the likes of Louisville and Charleston. And if they recapture that form, they're going to be a very tough out, a team that could make a dark horse run in the postseason.
Definitely have the talent. You go for player throughout this roster for Indy 11. You look at the experience, you look at how much success that each player has had in their individual careers. So now, how do you get that as a collective? Because you talked about that run that they won on, what, 7, 8, 9 games unbeaten in the middle of this season. So they definitely have the ability to play with the top players, in the top teams in all of USL Championship. And I do think after that Open Cup run, now you have all focus on the league So playing at home for Indy 11 in front of their home faithful, I think is going to be one of the top priorities for Sean McCauley, and that's what makes this match so massive for the playoffs hopes.
Loudoun's got their own little outside shot at creeping up into the upper half of the Eastern Conference standings as well. A win here is going to, or would possibly bring Loudoun within 2 points of a home playoff game. And the teams they play the rest of the way have an opportunity to set Loudoun up to make that home playoff push. They end up going at Rhode Island, a team above them. They play home against Pittsburgh, a team chasing them. Then they end the season at Charleston, but Charleston might not have anything to play for. They may well be locked into the 2 seed. So if they can find their 3 points in this 6-point swing here, Loudoun, they've got a decent chance. After having never made the postseason in USL Championship, they've got a chance to earn a home playoff game, and that sounds like another team out west in Las Vegas Lights and never made a postseason and now in a position to potentially host a playoff game as well.
Throughout this 2024 campaign, Loudoun United has won 8 times here at Segra Field, so Ryan Martin knows how good they can be when they don't need to travel. So yet, you look at what they've done in 2024, yes, it's a success, but you know Ryan Martin better than I do, Joe. We have the ability to speak with him week in and week out, never getting complacent, continue to push the issue and make history for Loudoun United.
Foster. Martinez, he's taken down awkwardly. It's going to be a really good spot for a free kick here. And a yellow card to Isaiah Johnston.
You look at the balance for Indy 11, whether it is Augie Williams, Douglas Martinez, Malik Foster, all can do a little bit of everything. Malik Foster challenges for the initial one, now Douglas Martinez, and notice how he drags his left foot. Really clever from Douglas Martinez as he invites a contact from Johnston, makes the most of it, gets a center midfielder in the book. A big test in terms of the discipline and positioning for Johnston of Loudoun United.
Lindley standing over at Foster, having a look. This is a lengthy discussion as to who this free kick will belong to. Foster's out of the equation. It's Lindley or Stanley. It's going to be Lindley curling, and it's saved by Farouk. That was heading into the bottom corner, not going wide. Farouk with a big stop.
Really clever from Cam Lindley, trying to use the wall to shield Farouk and bend it around. That's what makes this save that much more impressive. He sees it late. He cannot get caught cheating. The last second acrobatic, and notice how he parries it away to not give a second action for Indy 11.
Farouk's had an outstanding season this year in terms of the sheer number of saves, but also save percentage above 70, goals against average near 1. This is for a player who last year really struggled. Granted, as a team, they struggled to prevent the shots from reaching him, but his goals against average last year was up over 2, or around 2 rather, and save percentage was down close to 50, so it's a drastic year-over-year change in goal for Hugo Farouk. Corner for Indy at the back post. It's right there on the doorstep. It's stopped. Who did that come off of? I don't know if it was Farouk, and I think that's what he's wondering as well. It seemed like a no doubt about it goal for Ben Ofemu.
Just comes in unmarked, not good enough for Loudoun United, but anywhere else. It's in the back of the net. We'll take a better look at it here. Off the post. Initial thought, I thought it hit Farouk. Just so unlucky for the big man in the back for Indy 11. Beats his individual marker, just need to let it hit your head. Farouk, not even a courtesy dive.
I was with you, just the bang-bang nature of that play. I had no idea what prevented it from making this a 1-0 Indy lead. The answer is the post.
If you're Ryan Martin, you're going to be a bit confused with how open Ben Ofemu was entering that 6-yard box. It'd be a little bit better in terms of your individual marker for Loudoun United here.
Another corner for Indy. This tally rising, and Loudoun playing with fire. They continue to succumb here and concede these corners. This one will be a goal kick, though. Check out all the exciting postseason action as the USL playoffs presented by Terminix kick off in November. Top teams will battle it out for the ultimate prize. Go to USLChampionship.com for all the latest playoff information. We've got these two teams who would be playing in the postseason if the regular season ended today. The start of play, Indy in 6th, Loudoun in 8th. Two on three here. You don't have the numbers, but forcing the issue, and the offside flag comes up on Augie Williams. Haven't really called his name yet. It's mostly been Foster and Martinez driving things, but always have to be aware of Augie Williams.
Martinez just takes a little bit too long to play this into the path of Augie Williams. About a half of a yard offside. But as Douglas Martinez continues his run, Augie Williams needs to get wider, quicker. So that gives him a better angle to slash behind the shoulder of Keegan Hughes. But notice how Indy 11 setting up defending. Foster staying like for like with either Tommy McCabe or Johnson, kind of trying to cut the supply into one of the double pivots for Loudoun. So if you are Ryan Martin, the responsibility lies on your back three. How clean can they be at their decision making? But also Medcar and Tommy Williamson need to drop off and be a little bit more of an option to play in between through.
Part of the reason that Loudoun's been much better this year versus last year, especially defensively, just consistency. We talked about it in the open, how they've struggled in terms of the results going back to their time as the DC United affiliate. Last year was their first year independent and had some growing pains. They had to basically build a roster from scratch, a roster that previously was buoyed by a bunch of DC Academy kids or younger players. So had to go out, build a roster essentially from scratch, and then finally they were able to bring a lot of those players back year over year. And Ryan Martin peeled the curtain back for us and said 80% of this roster coming back next year now. So consistency is the name of the game. And as they've finally gotten to gel and grow together, it's no surprise the results have been there as well.
Something that really surprised me on our phone call with Ryan Martin. Said from last year to this year was the first time I was able to bring more than 3 players back. And that really raised an eyebrow. Tell you how good of a job he's done with this side. Bring that back a core to continue to build relationships, the identity of how Loudoun United wants to play on both sides of the ball. Done a fantastic job thus far.
Giving away to Medcar. Johnston was hobbling behind the play. Medcar nudged off the ball, thinking about it. Referee NDI, but ends up pulling the whistle away from the mouth. Now it's Augie Williams. Step overs, cutting in. Williams had it deflected.
You notice how Indy 11 always have an outlet, whether it is Malik Foster, Augie Williams, or Douglas Martinez. Sean McCauley wants one of them to stay high. So the first look for Indy 11, once they recover the ball, is going to be positive into that front three. And now if you are Loudoun United, your rest defense, when you're in possession, the back three needs to have communication, organizational skills as one needs to front and provide coverage for the other two.
Quick even go through the middle. Still driving through. The ball at his feet somehow, but it's saved by Salt. Williamson had that ball just Velcroed to his foot. Their Dambrot, excuse me, coming up off the back line.
Just pure will from Robbie Dambrot to continue his run. And this is a fantastic save from Schultz. Comes off his line really quickly, makes himself big, and it's a right arm that's trailing that denies Loudoun United the opening goal.
I'm not used to seeing Dambrot take that space. That's why I assumed immediately it was Tommy Williamson. That is a center back coming off the back line. Only has 1 goal this year, but it was a brilliant goal that even got LeBron James looking on social media. That tie in there is, again, Robbie Dambrot's father was the high school basketball coach of LeBron James.
That ball finds it back in the net. Does LeBron tweet again?
Oh, absolutely. Might get Bronny involved as well. This is Well, the referees still aren't sure. Another corner for Indy.
Talk about an outside back that can produce in the final third. Aiden Stanley, 7 assists. Quality, work rate. What a fantastic acquisition he's been for Indy 11 coming from Miami FC. Notice that massive area right in front of that 6-yard box, that near post.
Out for a volley. Stanley, it's blocked. Over halfway through this first half. Glad to have you with us on a rare Tuesday evening in the USL Championship with MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. Still scoreless between Loudoun and Indy. Two teams above the playoff line in the East. Big 6-point swing here. Punch away from Farouk. Didn't seem like it was going to be that troublesome when it first came in, but it kept drifting away. And Mines gets there. Owuwa is there fronting him. Former teammates that accomplished something special in USL Championship on the field today on opposite sides. Ben Mines need to get this ball back into play. A teammate on the 2021 title-winning squad of Orange County with Tommy McCabe. Farouk makes a mess of this one. Stanley whips it across, out for a goal kick. Farouk's had a couple of odd adventures so far tonight.
As a goalkeeper, if you do elect to come off of your line, you didn't make sure that this ball goes up and away. To not give a secondary action to an Indy 11 player right into the path of Aiden Stanley. Just pulls it a bit wide, but if you're Hugo Farouk, close fist, need to go up and away from your defending 18-yard box here. Good pocket.
Down by Medcar. Tingy. Johnston. Isaiah Johnston in the back post. Leg it there. Timed his jump properly, but just did not get the contact he wanted, and he knows it too as he walks away.
When you get those types of runs from Medcar and Wesley Luggett, now you really test the shape of Indy 11. Provide the width with your outside backs as well. Owuwa and Tingy can be expansive in nature. The best action that we've seen from Loudoun United, but it all starts with Tommy Williamson just playing off the shoulder of Cameron Lindley and being a focal point.
Tingy. Pretty even so far in terms of the shots. It's Loudoun controlling the ball. The corners, those stand out. Massive advantage there for Indy. Dambrot. Learman. Another underrated player on this Loudoun side. Giannis Learman, last year anchored the back line with 24 starts. This year, another 25 appearances. Former draft pick by the Chicago Fire. Terrific career collegiately at UCF and then Pitt. Just a set it and forget it player on that back line when you're filling out a lineup for any manager. Left-footed center back, hard to come by. Remember, that was something that Lou City was desperate after last year as they were in a quest And they found Kyle Adams, and something we've heard many managers around this league talk about, just getting that left-footed center back. So rare, so important, especially when you run this 3 center back look. Williamson dropping very deep here to try and get involved.
It's about the second time that we've seen Douglas Martinez and Augie Williams a bit confused in terms of the movement. Augie Williams needs to get out of there. He needs to go as wide as possible, because what they'll do, they'll give Malik Foster 2 options to play into. He can go on himself, or he can bring in one of the other 2 players. It's little moments like that, especially on the road. You need to be a little bit more decisive with your movement.
Martinez this year, 3 goals, 2 assists. For Indy 11, Williams 10 goals, 2 assists. They brought in Malik Foster over from Colorado Springs mid-season. He's got 5 goals and 5 assists. It's a very dynamic trio up top. And we've already seen a few different times in this first half, Ricky, who's lining up in the middle, who's on the left, who's on the right. They've continued to weave in and out. The fluidity you touched on when we outlined the lineups at the top of the broadcast. It has turned out to be the case here for Indy. How does that make life difficult for an opposing back line when you don't necessarily know who's going to be coming into your territory?
I think now communication. That's the top priority for Danbart, Hughes, and Learman, whether it's passing players off between them, but also having Tommy McCabe and Johnson drop in a little bit deeper. Because now, as Malik Foster is a true number 10, it's 3v3. You always want to have a numerical advantage when you're defending. So which one of the double pivots is going to drop back and be that security blanket? Something that Ryan Martin needs to get going in the defensive side of this game.
Here. Indy, the referee, over to slow some things down. Universal signal for a dive there. I don't think Tingy took too kindly to a little bit of acting from Augie Williams. Ryan Martin seems as perplexed in the background as well. So now we've roped Martinez in as well. Well, that left us with more questions than answers, but we're ready to go again. Long throw from Stanley, looking for Williams. Stop me if you heard this one before. A corner in this first half for Indy. At some point, you think it's going to come back to bite Loudoun. It almost did that one time off the post from Ofemo. Fortunate that it's still 0-0, given all these opportunities.
And the last 3 corner kicks for Cameron Lindley have gone to the back post area. And maybe something off the training ground here is there's a lot of traffic right in front of Hugo Farou.
7 corners into that traffic. Farou slaps it away. Still loose though and saved off the line. Learman got it away. Pay. Getting it through, flag stays down, it's Williams. Knocks it back for Stanley. Most we've seen Indy in terms of the possession, knocking it around, been more direct earlier. that one moment of impatience there as they're knocking it around. Someone tries to go long, ball's given away.
It also comes with the decision-making, you know, Famu and Dispe. No need to try to play this ball into Cameron Lindley when he's under a lot of pressure. You have to bypass that initial line because there is a massive gap. Look at Malik Foster right now. If you can find him on the half turn, now you can cause some issues for Loudoun United. So for Ryan Martin, that midfield battle, yes, on the ball, but also defending, need to be a little bit more tighter at closing down the space.
Yellow card, I believe, for Ryan Martin. Has not been happy with this first half. Still seems like he's going to get this yellow card. And there is the presentation of it, but I let him say his piece.
Game night on DC News Now with Derek Forrest, Brandy Flores, Alex Flown, and Jake Ron. Game night, the only 7-day-a-week sports show tonight at 11 on DC News Now.
Under 10 minutes to play here in this first half. With Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Still scoreless between Loudoun and Indy. Second meeting of the season, a 1-1 draw back in July.
Loudoun United having a really difficult time breaking through this Indy 11 defensive structure. They've been at their best when the ball's moving quick from left to right. You get Tingin, you get Awua high pinning back the opposing wing back. So now you afford Medcar, Wesley Leggett, Tommy Williamson to go and search the game in those half pockets. The problem, Joe, is they're just not quick enough. The ball circulation at this moment in time.
Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice.
Great challenge.
To the end line for Awua, has the speed to get there. Back to Leggett. On the top toward Tingy. Comes that header over Stanley, but these pair there to help clean it up. kept it alive. Edge of the area for a hit that goes just wide from McCabe.
Won't be surprised if we see Loudoun United play a little bit more direct to gain some real estate higher up the field. And as you do play direct, now second balls and winning that individual battle becomes that much more important. This ball pops out. Tom McCabe, very instinctual, just pulls it a little bit wide of that far post. That's the kind of mentality that you want to see if you are Ryan Martin as you approach. 5+ remaining here.
Leggett has the speed to make this interesting, and he did, crashing into Dispe. And no foul called. Well won by Leggett. 50-50 call there goes his way. Now a 50-50 call here, penalty waved off. And now after all of that, Leggett gets called for a foul from the ground. You had 3 50-50 calls in there, and at some point one of them was gonna get called.
The initial one for me is a foul. Good little flick on from Williamson, but Dispe gets here initially, that's a foul. But as Wesley Leggett continues on, nothing in this one he's looking for. It goes down really softly, and it's a left leg that catches Ben Mines. So 2 out of 3 are fouling Wesley Leggett. It's a third one that gets him on trouble.
Head injury here. They're going to be called out. Leggett to a seated position, but he's going to have to come off here. Looks like he just crashed heads. Douglas Martinez. Leggett, somebody who is just taking a massive leap year over year. Last year, a player who was really just a super sub off the bench. 33 appearances. Of those last year, only 9 starts, 3 goals, 3 assists. This year, now with 19 starts and 29 appearances, 8 goals. Just seen a massive uptick in his role and his production. Player who was a standout collegiately at UConn and then St. John's. That goes back to our conversation earlier about just continuity for Loudoun being able to return, as you put it, Ricky, more than 3 players for the first time ever, Leggett being one of them, growing in the system. He's unable to continue. You'd think maybe Cristiano Francois in that spot as an option here for Loudoun as they go through the concussion protocol.
Ryan Martin has a plethora of options that he can dip into. Florian Velo can play as the number 10. You have Zach Ryan, the leading goal scorer as well. Riley Boudoir and Cristiano Francois, like you mentioned, Joe. What a massive blow that would be to this game for Ryan Martin. Wesley Leggett, a player that he's worked countlessly with in this 2024 season, because you knew the talent was there, the explosiveness was there, but now you need more production. 8 goals, 2 assists this season. Been a fantastic spark in the attacking phase, and good to see him about to come back onto this field.
Like Martinez turned his ankle on that last step and he's down. Ball still in play, so they'll do a drop ball when we restart. Just took an awkward last step there and a little spin, sat down, and he's in some pain now. The late rhythm that we had in this first half has gone away after the injuries to Leggett and Martinez. Watch that last step right there. Right, that right foot just turned on that last step when he went to brace himself. He knew it immediately. Didn't need the trainer to come out, though, in the end.
You need to be really careful, because those are the ones now, when you stop to move, they start to swell up. So right when you get into that locker room, a trailer needs to wrap it, get those ankles wrapped, put a lot of ice on it.
Williamson.
That's that pocket of space that Loudoun United needs to continue to find. Because if you do, now you can really cause some concern for this back three for Indy 11. Tommy Williamson hasn't got the service because his movements are there. Now Tommy McCabe and Johnson need to find him a little bit more often.
Martinez still hobbling. Get to halftime here and then reassess. So you don't have to burn a substitution window. Sean McCauley looks like he's going to have a decision to make at halftime with Douglas Martinez. Augie Williams. Martinez seems to be moving all right here as he tries to make the run. Foster. For Lindley. Again, it's Foster. Big pickup mid-season from Colorado Springs, Foster. He's Pay looking for Augie. Flag stays down. Williams pings it across Martinez. Still hobbling as he tried to close on that ball. He doesn't look right. They wrap it at halftime. Get it compressed. Only 2 minutes of added time here in this first half, brought to you by Novak. And Novak's energy-saving tips are a real game changer. McCabe, that's over the shoulder from Johnston. Wide for Awua. Nobody making that run. They're really missing, it seems, Zach Ryan right now, who is available on the bench. The question is how much do they want to push him coming off of a quick turnaround, an unusual turnaround. Plenty of matches, obviously, you see as the year goes along. That's a Saturday, Wednesday turnaround, but Saturday, Tuesday is very tight.
Just gives you a presence inside the attacking 18-yard box. And he's another forward that can do a little bit of everything in this match. Can drop down and be part of the build-out, can be combative for 50-50 balls, but also is a ruthless finisher. Him and Tommy Williamson, you can combine those two higher up the field. Now you can really pin back this back three for Indy 11. So if you are Ryan Martin, much like Sean McCauley, you do have a big decision at halftime in terms of tactically, but also personnel. Come on and impact this game.
Well, to your point, though, would you bring on Ryan for Williamson or bring him on to play with him?
I think you can do both.
Both, okay.
I think because as we've seen through 47 minutes here, Tommy Williamson is very comfortable dropping in and being at maybe as a false number 9, so to say. I do think Ryan Martin, instead of having them play together, he'll replace it. I think that's more the avenue that he will go.
And the last try of this first half, long throw, headed away. Wooten to keep it alive. Foster lays it off. It's on a tee, but well off target. And they will blow it dead there. No further action in this first half. Scoreless between Indy and Loudoun.
I think if you're Ryan Martin on the ball, it's something that you need to correct, and you need to correct it quickly. The ball needs to move a lot faster from sideline to sideline, and you need to get Wesley Leggett a little bit more involved. And for Indy 11, Sean McCauley, defending, continue to be stout and try to make it a transitional game a little bit more in this next 45 minutes.
You wonder if part of the sluggish start, that quick turnaround from Saturday to Tuesday, but you know, both these managers are big on their halftime adjustments. We'll see what Ryan Martin has to say about it, and Sean McCauley on the other side. Scoreless through 45 between Loudoun and Indy. More to come from Seger Field in Leesburg, Virginia.
You thought you knew Cuomo.
See the game, my friends. Expose the game.
The real Chris just might surprise you.
So you can change the game.
Surprising.
The agenda is you.
Free thinking.
News Nation is the only news organization whose name is reflective of you.
Game changing.
America is News Nation.
Cuomo. Weeknights at 8, 7 Central. Only on America's fastest growing cable news network. News Nation. News for all America.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
DC News Now is worth watching.
Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 10.
Super serving the DMV.
Reporting in Northern Virginia.
Levin Bowie.
In Upper Marlboro.
Forecasting each region of the DMV.
Region by region.
Responsive and ready for breaking news no matter the location.
To show you exactly how all of this went down.
We get there faster.
Reporting in Greenbelt, Maryland.
We cover more ground.
From Hagerstown.
Super serving the DMV. Watch DC News Now tonight at 10 on DCW 50. It's worth watching.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novak. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novak also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novak is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novak.com/save.
Scoreless at the break here in a very important matchup in the Eastern Conference playoff for a 6th place Indy 11 against 8th place Loudoun United. And these two teams have equally important matchups coming over the weekend. We'll start with Loudoun. They take on a Rhode Island team that they're trying to chase down to maybe earn their own home playoff game, Loudoun.
And what Connell Smith has been able to do with Rhode Island, 3 wins on the bounce. Their most recent one, a massive result, 3-1 against Tampa Bay Rowdies. Connell Smith has his side full of confidence. Massive match for Loudoun United.
So interesting for Loudoun. 3 games in a row like this where it's against teams right around them in the standings, so they will be battle tested. Now on the other side for Indy, it's another big 6-point swing as Indy wants a home playoff game in Detroit City, one of the teams they're trying to track down.
Detroit City side that is in form. They have not lost since August 24th, and they went down to Charleston, drew 2-2. So Danny Dicchio, he's completely changed the way that this side is played. They're attacking, they're good on the ball. Detroit City forced to be reckoned with in the Eastern Conference.
You and I will have the call of that game on the weekend. Should be a lot of fun. Got to get into our moon phases. What do you got, waxing or waning tonight? Not sure. We'll stick around in half number 2. Moon phases, goals, whatever. We'll probably have it in half number 2. It's Loudoun and Indy. More to come.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked Bebidas.
Recentra bien el balón dentro del área. ¡Hombre, ese es el segundo! La combinación es buena. Se canta el 1-1. ¡De los cantos! ¡No te puedo creer! Increíble, Felipe. Y señoras y señores, la USL Championship.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Does anyone feel like life can be really messy? I know I do. There is something shady going on. There's a million ways to cheat, and everybody lives on their phone. I found a screenshot of this woman. Let's be real. The game has changed. I cheated, you cheated. So what? I'm here to help make sense of it all, because trust, I've been through it all. And I'm not afraid to get into your mess. You are not winning in life. Let that sink in. So let's get into it.
Karamo, weekdays at 3 on DCW 50.
Hispanic Heritage Night here tonight at Segra Field. It's 0-0 between Loudoun and Indy. While the dances continue on the field, we'll step aside and take a broader look around USL Championship with some news and notes. Hard to believe that we are as close as we are to the postseason. We're starting to see a lot of different letters on the website in the standings. We just got a Z on the website next to Louisville, and the Z stands for Player Shield winners. All roads to the title lead through Lynn Family Stadium.
They've been so good in 2024 on both sides of the ball. Danny Cruz and that side continue to make history, and then New Mexico kick out cancer will be auctioned through Friday. That's some fantastic thing that they're doing for their club. And how good has Vegas been? Dennis Sanchez, I mean, completely has turned that identity of the club, and they clinched a playoff spot for the first time in their history.
They thought that they needed to do it with a win this weekend, ended up getting in with a draw, and the celebrations ensued. So the shirts and hats on the field, and they are in. It's been great to see that turnaround under Jose Bautista now taking over that team, and we will see if they can keep it going, how high they climb in terms of the seeding. This is the schedule tomorrow. We've got that odd Tuesday game, of course, here with you tonight. A normal Wednesday slate coming tomorrow, and there's a few big ones as well as far as both playoff chases. Mainly that New Mexico Phoenix, great rivalry, won there. Phoenix right now trying to cling to a playoff spot, but Orange County, Colorado Springs, that one huge as well.
Danny Stone and James Chambers, that's going to be a massive one. Sacramento Republic, they host Monterey Bay, who's in a dire need of 3 points. Jordan Stewart has done, as of late, they've gone a little bit better. El Paso Locomotive and San Antonio, how are those two teams still alive? That's a massive one in the Western Conference, but my eyes, Joe, go to Phoenix Rising. Diego Gomez and company continue to drop in this Western Conference. What a result that would be if they go into the lab and can get something from this game.
Quietly, Orange County are unbeaten in their last 4 games. They lost their opening match after Danny Stone took over, but unbeaten in the last 4. They're above the playoff line. And we'll take a look at those standings now, giving you an update of where we sit currently. This is reflecting the current draw between Loudoun and Indy. Ricky, I'll put it to you this way. The 8 teams above the playoff line, will they be the 8 teams above the line when all said and done, or will Pittsburgh, North Carolina, or Hartford jump one of those teams?
It's a tough question because now you're making me bet against Bob Lilly and the Riverhounds. And I do think when it's all said and done, the Riverhounds will be above that line.
I could see it, and this Loudoun team is going to have a lot to say. Indy's going to have a lot to say. Remember, these teams sort of all play each other in the closing weeks here, so it's going to come down to the wire. And now in the West, some of those games that we're spotlighting for tomorrow night, this is what it looks like in the Western Conference standings. We talked a lot about Orange County and Phoenix. Both teams go tomorrow. Both teams sort of punching above their weight in terms of the standings. Orange County against 4th place Colorado Springs. Phoenix against 1st place New Mexico. A lot on the line there tomorrow night.
And I do think this one is going to stay. I think this top 8 teams are going to be the teams that end up in the playoffs, but the only one that I do have a little bit of a question mark is Phoenix Rising, because they will play against New Mexico United, and how good have they been in the West? I think that will be the only change as we head into playoffs.
I'll take it a step further. I think that one changes tomorrow. I think Phoenix loses to New Mexico tomorrow, and I think San Antonio beats El Paso. So when tomorrow's said and done, I think San Antonio, sitting on 37, is above that line. Some way, somehow, Alan Marcina's teams always find a way, and they may do it tomorrow as well. We are just about set to begin half number 2 with all the different playoff implications on the line. 45 more to play between Loudoun and Indy.
DC News Now is worth watching.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us here on DC News Now.
Wake up with the team super serving the DMV.
If you want to get a head start out there before you head out the door this morning.
Keeping you in the know as you start your day.
Live here in Bowie, live in Dulles.
With weather and traffic that won't keep you guessing.
In DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Wake up with a team focusing on all the communities in the DMV. Watch DC News Now. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9. It's worth watching.
Rising up like lightning, won't give up, nothing can keep me down. Fire it up, I'm fighting, won't give up, I'm gonna hold my ground.
Get tickets for our next match and info on special events at LoudounUnitedFC.com.
weather for all the DMV. Your weather experts. You're watching DC News Now.
Gas prices got you fuming? No need to get heated. Save time and money with Metro. Ride, save, explore. Metro. Make your trip monumental. Sightsee through DC without overspending on gas and ride shares. Experience DC the local way. Ride, save, explore. Metro.
Ready to start the second half here in Leesburg at Seger Field. Take a look at highlights from half number one. There were not any goals, but there were a lot of opportunities for both of these teams, 16 shots in all.
It was a competitive match between Loudoun United and Indy 11. We talked about the keys being that central location. Really good save in the end from Hugo Faru. Look how quickly he gets down to his right-hand side. Malik Foster does everything right here. Just even better goalkeeping. And give credit to Tommy McCabe right there at the rebound to put it wide. Set pieces were always going to be really important for Indy 11, especially when they're on the road. How can you ask questions of Hugo Faru? Cameron Lindley tried to bend it around the wall. Good save yet again from the goalkeeper.
Faru had a few adventures in that first half, to put it lightly. That could have become interesting, but he made those couple of big saves. And Indy, to be fair, really should have gone ahead on this one right here. I do not know how Ben Ofemo put this one off the post instead of it.
Really clever movement. Watch how Augie Williams, he peels back, so that opens up Ben Ofemo the avenue to just crash that 6-yard box. And how this ball does not hit the back of the net is beyond me.
I mean, I'll take it a step further. Like, I know it's a round ball against a cylindrical post, and sometimes the bounces are funky, but the way it hit the post, it almost looked like it had to ricochet off the post and in. It hit like the very inside of the post and still somehow bounced out. I don't understand physics sometimes, but we are still 0-0. That I do understand, and I understand that it's a massive set of 3 points available for both these teams. Who would you like more in that first half?
I would say Indy. Obviously defending, they were really compact in their structure, but also they were a bit more threatening in that final third. You just see, look at these highlights. It was about 4 times that Hugo Faru has had to come off of his line, and he's done quite well. We saw that last action, Aiden Stanley pulls a little bit wide, but now as a goalkeeper, you need to be a little bit more decisive to not give a secondary option for Indy 11.
Felt like Loudoun had a lot more of the possession, and the stats bear that out. They were being very methodical. Indy a little bit more direct, but both teams able to create in their own way in that first half.
Will not be surprised if we see Ryan Martin and Sean McCauley dip into their bench a little bit earlier in the second half to just supply a little bit more of a spark in the attacking third. You have Florian Velo for Loudoun United that has the quality to break lines. Zach Ryan as well, we talked about. And then for Indy 11, I do think you need to get Douglas Martinez and Alfie Williams on the same page a little bit more.
McCauley looking on, happy with the way his side has played over these last few weeks, responding from that Open Cup semifinal loss. Ryan Martin on the other side for Loudoun knows the importance of this final stretch, trying to get to the postseason for the first time in club history. It's Indy left to right in the red. It is Loudoun right to left in the black, and we're underway in half number 2. Happy to have you along for the ride tonight alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa from Seger Field in Leesburg, Virginia, on Hispanic Heritage Night for Loudoun. Early opportunity here for Indy, and Faru smothers it. Down this left side. Former MLS draft pick back in 2017.
And we've seen this a couple occasions, especially in that first half. Tommy Williamson drops on and just create a little bit of an overload centrally. But now, if you're Alan Medcar and Wesley Leggett, you need to come central. You need to be that focal point and that center of the attacking line. But too many times when Tommy Williamson drops in, those two players are continued to stay wide. No real option to play in between in central locations for Loudoun United.
The adventure continues tonight, where you go through. As soon as that ball went up in the air, I saw him get a beat on it like he was playing center field, and I did not expect for him to come all the way up and hit it. I thought he was going to catch it at the edge of the area. He started to enter that conversation of some of the more unorthodox and intriguing goalkeepers to watch in this league. Think Danny Vitiello in Sacramento. Think Coque Vegas in Rhode Island, who they will coincidentally play this weekend. So that will be an adventure for all adventures with Vegas and Faru against each other on opposite ends. Might be a situation where they meet at midfield. Who knows? Floated in toward Williams, glances it on. That was his first really good look in a dangerous area. He felt he was fouled. And it should have been a penalty, but it's a goal kick.
Really love what Sean McCauley has done with Malik Foster, because when he was at the switchbacks, we saw him play primarily wide and use his directness to really put pressure under some teams. But now he comes centrally, he sees more of the ball, able to pull the strings a little bit more. And now as he drops in a little bit deeper, that gives Augie Williams the ability to slash across. Learman unable to get on the end of it, but those are the types of actions that you need to see a little bit more often if you are Sean McCauley.
McCabe, giveaway from McCabe in the middle. Free kick coming for Loudoun. Yellow cards to remember from the first half. It's only Isaiah Johnston on the field for Loudoun. Ryan Martin has his own yellow card over in the technical area. McCabe was asked to back it up, trying to hold out as long as he could to not move that ball. Ultimately had to. Move the ball back up anyway. And you can get away with some things when the referee's back is turned. You never deceived anybody.
Never,
no.
never.
Very high line from Indy. McCabe, and no shot at getting into that line. But the second effort here, blistering shot goes wide of the far post.
Tingy already has a goal this season with a fantastic first touch out of his body, which gives him the ability to test. Salt with the second touch, just pulls it wide, but he's been a fantastic signing for Ryan Martin. He's one of the unsung heroes. His work rate, consistency, you know exactly what you're going to get when he steps over that white line.
Anytime you can get a player in your system out of Stanford, you know you're in good shape. It's been one of the best programs in the country. They won those 3 national titles in the mid-2010s. They've continued to be perennial contenders year over year, and this Loudoun team fortunate enough to have 2 of those guys on the back line, Keegan Hughes and Keegan Tingy. Give it away here, Martinez off that awkward deflection. A shot at it for a throw.
The throw, Drew Skundrich in that conversation as well as Stanford alumni. Good move.
Down in the corner, Mines and Awua. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier when you've got 2 teams using the wing backs. You're gonna have those guys battling over and over. Someone's got to turn that into a GIF of Sean McCauley. He found the camera, he played to the camera.
I don't think he agrees with that call.
What gives you that impression?
Maybe the wag of the finger and the no.
Rest in peace to Kembe Mutombo.
It's like you when I tried to read a card. Johnston wants somebody to show for him. Finally, it's
Out to Williamson. Continues to drop in very deep, Williamson. Play that false 9 sort of role you alluded to in the first half, Ricky. Curious if at some point they do what you called for, which is bring in Zach Ryan to play with Williamson instead of a like-for-like swap.
Just to balance it a little bit off of that front line for Loudoun United, because every single one of those players wants the ball to feed. Tommy Williamson continue to drop in. El Medcar, we've seen him play next to Tommy McCabe, and Wesley Leggett, clever touch.
Martinez going to lose that foot race to Faru. Instead of just putting it into the 10th row, he tried to chip it to himself, and now look out, getting into it with Martinez. Assistant referee has to come in and separate them. Yellow card coming out probably for both. There's Faru's yellow. I think the assistant referee was just telling our center referee, NDI, to give the yellow to Martinez as well, but I want to write up the first one before he comes back for the second one. Only Faru shown the yellow for now.
Knows exactly what he's doing. Carrying the ball back over the white line, trying to delay a quick transitional moment. Douglas Martinez has every right to go for the ball, but the swipe down, I think, what gets him in trouble.
And he was just showing his own yellow as well while we're showing you this replay. So it is Faru and Martinez with one each.
I think it's the aggressive nature that he tries to snatch the ball from Hugo Faru that gets him in trouble. Like you said, Joe, it's a wrong decision from Faru. Try to be a little bit too cute and pop the ball back up to him. Just clear your lines. No need. Instead, you pick yourself up a yellow.
Ben Mines gearing up like he wants to launch this one to Fairfax. Flicked on. Goes against Malik Foster. He seems frustrated as well. That might be an operating word right now for both front lines. Frustrating. Just getting it to them, but neither front line has had easy entry into either 18. And really, the 19 shots we've seen, 5 on target, how many of them have come from the high-priced real estate, those really dangerous areas?
Unable to get any sort of rhythm either side. So like I said earlier, would not be surprised if we see both of these managers bring someone off the bench.
Medcar. Aua. Kwame Aua taking it to the end line. He was muscled off in the end. Referee immediately waved it off as Loudoun half-heartedly looked his way for a penalty shout. El Medcar stumbled over the ball. McCabe tried to win it back, deflects in the 18, but Leggett was already retreating to try and help out. Play on. Aua. 10 minutes come and gone in this second half. This is typically where we find out from both coaches if they have any subs in mind. It's been a stagnant game. You give those first 10 minutes of the second half to see if anything changes from the first. Not much really has. So is this the time to bring on the Velo or the Ryan if you're Loudoun? Is this the time if you're Indy to bring on an Aiden Quinn or a Jack Blake? Dambrot. Center back Dambrot, surprisingly, the player with the furthest venture forward of either team so far in this one. He tried to cut through that back line earlier. Here he is again, Dambrot. Leggett. It was awkward. Wooten stood up and looked at the referee, almost expecting to get called for a foul, but just awkwardly barreled through and play continued.
Much like we saw against Lou City, how comfortable Indy 11 is at creating that back line of 5. So Stanley and Ben Mines drop in next to Despae and O'Brien, and then you have that front 3 in front of them. Wooten, Lindley, Malik Foster, clogging passing lanes. So Loudoun United, you have to go around them. How can you get Arua and Tingy to pop onto that front line to really draw them out? And that's when you can find players centrally like in Medcar.
Nice turn from Tingy. That's a needless foul conceded by Giannis Learman. Yellow card picked up by the center back. Free kick in a dangerous spot here for Indy.
That's your compact defending. Now you have Douglas Martinez and Augie Williams. They get the body position and the freedom to go direct. And notice at the last second, Douglas slashes across Learman, puts himself between him, his individual marker, and the ball. Overzealous, the center back does. Tries to win the ball when there's no need to. Has help around Douglas Martinez instead. Picks up a yellow card and affords Indy 11 a dangerous set piece opportunity.
Cam Lindley sets it up. Only one in the wall. Tells you that Hugo Peru is not expecting a shot from here, but I don't know, it's kind of on the outskirts. Seems a little too sure that this is not coming on goal for only a one-man wall. Either that or he's daring Lindley to go for it.
Something straight off the training ground. Bottom of your screen, Dispe and Ofemu.
Flipped in centrally, Dispe flicks it on. Faru is an assist to his name already this season. Spring it long on the punt, and the subs being prepared now by both sides. So right around that territory where we expected the benches to have an impact, and it is time to see things change. A trio coming on now for Loudoun. Isaiah Johnston coming off. Khalil El-Medkar coming off. And Kwame Awuap coming off. Drew Skundridge, Florian Below. Both coming on. And Jacob Erlandson. You got your wish, Ricky. All the Stanford boys out there now for Loudoun. As Skundridge enters. He's not in the club, though, with Hughes and Tingy. His first name's not Keegan.
I don't know if that's a wish. That was a nightmare when I was in college playing against the Stanford Cardinals.
A yellow card was also issued in the 59th minute to Loudoun United, number 5.
Indy have Collier and it looks to be Blake both ready to come on. Thought they were going to come on at that same interval, but Indy decides to hold off till the next stoppage. And they will have a throw. And they want it here. Nice to get Collier's size in there for a potential flick-on header. They're going to wait here. Long throw from Mines. Nobody contesting it in red.
I have to think now Loudoun United will play more of a four-back system, so Erlandson will pop off centrally, and that would push out Dan Brott to this left-hand side. So now you have Skundridge and Tommy McCabe flowing below in that central location underneath Leslie Leggett and El-Medkar. That's something that Ryan Martin touched about on our phone call. That we have the flexibility to shift in and out of a three-back and a four-back system. Whether it is the opponent, whether it is just the personnel that we want to get onto the field, players understand their roles regardless of the formation that we play.
Skundridge. Sent some well wishes to Skundridge's wife, Annie Sullivan, on the NWSL, was stretched off late in her match this weekend. Erlandson. Give and go with Skundrich. Below. Incisive ball to McCabe. Almost clipped it over and behind for Williamson. You see what Velo can bring to the table already. That creativity. This might be a yellow, silly after the play for kicking the ball away. It is. It is Tingy. So another member of that back line with a yellow now.
Flory Velo just gives you a pocket presence and the quality with the final action. As we see Sean McCauley dip into his bench now. Jack Blake will come on for Malik Foster. And Collier will come on for Douglas Martinez. So, but if a different look going forward for the visiting side. Jack Blake will be more of a pocket presence, won't make those types of runs that we've seen Malik Foster make. Want to connect with Wooten and Lindley centrally and Elliot Collier. The forward, soft feet, likes to combine, can take players 1v1, so a balance between him and Augie Williams can cause some issues for Loudoun United.
A yellow card was also issued in the 62nd minute to Loudoun United's number 3, Keegan Tingy.
Blake comes on, 9 goals, 4 assists. Elliot Collier, 5 goals, 2 assists. He's been that true super sub this year for Indy. This is his 27th appearance, 25 of those off the bench. 29-year-old from New Zealand, big time aerial presence. Space here to take through the middle for Erlinson. Laid off, driven by Skundrich and wide.
Your all-access pass to the latest forecast from Janessa Webb, Jackie Layer, Damon Matson, Scott Sumner, and Brittany Ward. All across the DMV. DC News Now weather.
20 minutes into this second half here at Seger Field in Leesburg, Virginia. A still goalless night on this rare Tuesday in the USL Championship. Happy to have had you with us all evening long. Alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. 6th place Indy, 8th place Loudoun. Both for their own reasons and their own playoff battles. Would obviously like a win, but both probably happy in a way with a tie, at least pick up the point. Although, to be fair, something that Sean McCauley had mentioned in our conversation as well, everybody below these two teams probably also rooting for a tie. So it's that weird sort of equilibrium where they're both probably happy with a tie, Indy and Loudoun, but so too would be everybody else around them in the standings. That 1 point goes to the cutting room floor. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM 157 and the Sirius XM app. Here's Leggett. Dangerous challenge in from behind. Mines is going to pick up a yellow.
Rash challenge here from Ben Mines. He knows he's beat. The ball's gone. Catches the right leg of Wesley Leggett. It's a clear yellow card, no question about it. Ryan Martin, this Loudoun United side now knowing that the wingback is on a yellow card, you continue to go at him and ask some questions of Ben Mines on the defensive side of the ball.
Lowe standing over it. Just waiting for the whistle. This crowd waiting to erupt here in the 68th minute off the set piece. A good ball in from Velo, but before anything can come of it, whistle blows for the foul. Went long the other way, Indy. Farouk has it. McCabe. Heavy pressure here from Augie Williams is forced all the way back to Farouk. Add that touch to his list of adventures tonight. Leggett.
eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL club. eFootball is free to play. Download now.
See, I wish you were still playing instead of next to me.
That's not nice.
No, don't take it that way. I meant so I could play as you in eFootball.
Get some commentators in that game as well. Pick your commentator, be your team.
Josh O'Brien, the one down right now for Indy. They've had plenty of opportunities tonight in the 11 to be up here on the road against Loudoun. One of those have been squandered. One of those hit the posts. If there was one team in this one who maybe should be up, it's probably Indy, Ricky.
They've been the more threatening of the opposing goal. You look at this Indy 11 side, scoring 2 times against Lou City last time out, so they were always going to be confident in the final third. This is the best opportunity here. Ben Ofemu comes in unmarked, but unable to put it anywhere else in the goal. But they've really put some pressure under Hugo Farouk. But yet you look at all of these chances, no real clear-cut one. That's something that Sean McCauley is going to want to see a little bit more in terms of their composure in the final third. That's a big wag of the finger saying no goals in this match through 71 minutes.
This is concerning now for Indy with O'Brien still down. He's been a dependable center back this year. 17 starts. He had originally committed to the University of Washington back in 2021. Never attended though because he joined Watford in 2021 after a successful trial, played for their U21 side. Spent some time in the English 3rd, 4th, and 5th tiers. So he cut his teeth in the game. Came back home to the US. This year with Indy. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue here. It is James Musa who is going to replace.
Fans, for your chance to meet your team and get autographs, head over to section 108. The Delta Dental post-match kit.
Sub confirmed. Musa, 32-year-old, makes his 8th appearance now for Indy. Started the first 7.
Indy 11 substitution in the 71st minute. Now exiting the match, number 2, Josh O'Brien. Now entering the match, number 41, James Musa. All substitutions are brought to you.
Wonder if Ryan Martin at some point pushes that button to bring on Zach Ryan, team's leading scorer with 10 goals. You could understand if he doesn't tonight, and coming off of that Saturday game, quicker than usual turnaround to Tuesday instead of Wednesday, and then they turn back around and play again on the weekend. So maybe pick and choose who you want to push. Maybe it's a case of you either start Zach on both Saturday games and don't use him at all in the midweek, or you started him Saturday and now back-to-back games where you could use him off the bench. You got to be very careful with how much you push guys, especially this late in the year. But he's available, and it is a game that's really been screaming for him if he is good to go for any length of time.
Example A right there. Tommy Williams does a fantastic little job to create a little bit of space, but the angle is just not there. No real say whatsoever to play into the path of Wesley Leggett. Why not test your luck and put some pressure on their Solt. Players to be a little bit more aggressive in the final third, especially if you are Ryan Martin.
Skundrich. Touch by Erlinson. Heavy touch as he fed it up the field to Dambrot. And we are going to get the answer to that question. Will we see Zach Ryan? Yes, here he comes. Tommy Williamson will be replaced.
Now you start to see the players around Zach Ryan to find some freedom and some joy. Especially Wesley Leggett, Florian Velo, Tommy McCabe. And he just gives you a little bit more of a presence in the attacking 18-yard box. A big physical figure, likes to go up and challenge for aerial duels. Zach Ryan, that's a complete of a forward that you will find in all of USL Championship.
Mines quickly for Collier. That's the aerial presence he brings, fed across by Blake. Williams. Augie Williams drops it back. Quarter of an hour remains. Faroux launches, looking for Leggett. He'll find this one, Wesley Leggett. From Faroux, goes down. Referee says play on. Probably would have been a free kick, not a penalty. He fell into the box. That should be a handball against Blake. It is.
It's a very similar play that we saw earlier in the first half. Watch the right leg right there of Dispay. Slide of contact, but in my opinion, and I think he gets away with one, because the first play of the game, Ben O'Fame comes over the top of Wesley Leggett, and he gets called for a foul. If you are Ryan Martin, you're just asking for a little bit of consistency from our Senate referee.
McCabe. Here's the first touches for Zach Ryan. 10-goal scorer on the season. Leggett stumbles. Seemed to be Leggett trying to play to the sympathy of the referee after not getting the last call. Maybe you get this one. He comes up with neither.
Over the course of this second half, Wesley Leggett, Adrian Dispay becoming the best of friends.
Launched long, and that's really been a story of the night. Loudoun's been patient. They've controlled the possession, but eventually just not finding ways through this Indy shape. So they go long, and there's nobody to run onto it when they go long. You can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches, including the championship final, will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. In behind for Dambrot, and Dambrot commits the foul. He's moved over to this outside back position after they made that change to bring off Awuap. And he's had a few ventures toward the end line now. Keep an eye on him. He's never afraid to get forward. Starting tonight as a center back, but even as a center back, he was the one who got furthest forward still in that first half on that one motion.
Just gives you a little bit more verticality on this near end. Really well done by Ben Mines. He's been put under some pressure, but he's answered every single question asked of him, especially on a yellow card. You always have to find that right amount of balance when you play as a wing back. You don't want to get too expanded and to leave a massive gap between you and Dispay. Got to be really careful here, not with the initial ball in, but the second ball can really hurt teams.
Free kick now for Loudoun. Dorian Below hasn't seen much of the ball since he's come on, but he can be a game changer. But the word that we actually have to use for Ryan Martin is lifter. That's what he said in our conversation. They're not subs, they're lifters. They come in, provide that lift off the bench. Here is Below, but it's off target on the volley.
Great challenge.
Below looking for Ryan. Zach Ryan turning, trying to clip it back post. It's still Zach Ryan. Twice blocked. Once on the cross, once on the shot. Now it's Below. He just can't sneak it through. Indy has been so good at sacrificing, putting the body on the line, blocking crosses, blocking shots. There's just nothing easy for Loudoun, especially in this second half.
Game night on DC News Now with Derek Forrest, Brandy Flores, Alex Flum, and Jake Ron. Game night, the only 7-day-a-week sports show tonight at 11 on DC News Now.
Has really taken on a different physical identity late here, Ricky.
Their team unable to get any sort of rhythm. The frustration starts to set in, so now it becomes a little bit more physical. Players are a bit later in challenges. Dambrot, Ben Mines have been going at it over the last 5 to 10 minutes here. A game like this just takes one single action, one single play, a player making a play to be the difference. And especially with the amount of talent that is on this field, you do think that there's going to be one golden opportunity in the remainder of this match.
Haven't had any in this second half. After the first half saw 16 combined shots with 5 on target. This second half, 5 shots, 1 on target between the two teams combined. It's really tightened up. Could this be the answer for Indy? Their 10th corner of the evening. 8 came in the first half. Changes are coming for both sides at the next opportunity, but first the corner. Curled in by Stanley. Farouk punches away. Has to get back to his feet. Ball still loose. Flicked hard goal! And somehow, some way, it's Indy up 1-0!
Talked about set pieces, especially on the road. Hugo Farouk does not deal nearly well enough with this ball. Secondary actions give credit to Ben Ofeim, who puts the ball back across where it came into a trafficked area. And this is just the first to react, James Musa. Get any body part that you can onto to redirect it. Farouk's off his line. No one provides coverage behind the goalkeeper. And Indy 11 take a 1-0 lead here deep into this second half.
In his 200th USL Championship appearance, it's the 11th goal for James Musa. Back to goal. A little cheeky flick. I don't know if that's what he intended. Maybe he was hoping to keep it alive for the players in the middle. Doesn't matter. It's Indy 1-0.
But you have to think, Joe, we continue to talk about it throughout this match, Hugo Farouk and his decision-making. If you decide to come off of your line, how decisive can you be? Especially if you do make contact on the ball. That ball needs to go up and away from traffic to not give Indy 11 a second bite at the apple. Oh, watch out. That's
dangerous.
That's
dangerous, and it is. No doubt about it. You spotted it right away. I was right there with you. Dispe sent off. So what had been a very quiet second half, all of a sudden, springs to life. The Musa goal, the Dispe red. Have another look.
First, it's a fantastic turn, but watch the scissor motion right here. No question about it. Adrian Dispe gets spin like a top. Has to recover. First leg, second leg. Coming through the back of Skundrich. Clear red. Dangerous play.
He's mad and upset and disappointed, but have to think it's more in himself than the call, because that was as clear-cut as it gets as far as a red. Didn't really see much of an argument at all from Sean McCauley going over to the fourth official or the center referee. And that's always going to be a telltale sign when you don't have an argument from teammates or a head coach. They all know, but you probably deep down know as well. You made a mistake, and Dispe, that's maybe what he's muttering to himself as he walks off. It was a mistake, and now you just have to hope that the rest of your group is able to bail you out with a few minutes to go.
Makes the end of this game that much more interesting. Up a goal, down a man, and the 11 needs to dig down deep and show a little bit of personality to see this game out.
Dambrot out of play, and it did take a deflection. A corner coming for Loudoun, their first of the evening, an IBEW Local 26 corner kick. Empower your future.
This is an IBEW Local 26 corner kick. Loudoun United.
First of the evening, can they make it count? 3 to play, down a goal. The in-swinger from McCabe toward that near post. Comes to the back post, still loose. Can't get rid of it here, Indy. Augie Williams hesitated, and now he's able to get it away. Wooten. That'll be all for Augie Williams, replaced by Logan Neidlinger. Augie Williams trying to go the long way off the field. The referee nips down in the bud. And the other sub will be Bram Sumaoro, replacing Lawrence Wooten. Sumaoro acquired late summer, makes his 6th appearance here. First 5 all as a starter. Neidlinger's come on this year. Academy player, the 19-year-old, 11th appearance, has a goal and assist to his name. Both those players tasked with helping see this one over the finish line. You wonder if those subs indicate any tactical shifts as well for Indy. Now down a man, up a goal. Collier driving it through, almost came all the way out for Ben Mines. And Loudoun take advantage of the man advantage. Another free kick coming in a good spot though for Indy.
Give credit to Sean McCauley. Every single sub that he's made has been impactful. First is Collier, now it's Jack Blake. Gets it right before Skundrich. Precious time, takes off the clock. And yet another good opportunity from about 20 to 25 yards out to test Hugo Faru. We saw a very similar location for Cam Lindley, elected to go around the wall. So now it's top priority to Faru to yet again trust his wall, not get caught cheating.
Jack Blake goes for goal. Faru able to make the stop. 90th minute. Waiting for the official word on stoppage time. That goal for Indy in the live table vaults them all the way up to 4th in position for a home playoff game. For Loudoun, they'd be precariously perched in 8th. Just 2 points clear of Pittsburgh. 2 points clear of North Carolina, 4 points clear of Hartford Athletic. Both North Carolina and Hartford have a game in hand on Loudoun. Still waiting on that stoppage time number. Fourth official has not indicated yet. It will be 6 minutes. 6 minutes of stoppage time, and almost at the beginning of it. Loudoun equalizer, trying to keep this alive. Indy trying to clear. Someone finally bringing the ball down. It's Velo. Dinks it over the top. Indy clears. Collier gets it further away now into stoppage time, brought to you by Novak. Novak's energy-saving tips are a real game changer. Velo. All the way to Dambrot. Trying to play it off the defender out for a corner. Rescued instead by Erlinson. McCabe has space, invited to take the shot, plays the pass instead. It was a clever decision, but it goes the possession to Indy.
But it's the wrong decision the way that Drew Skundrich approaches this ball. Tries to be a bit clever and use the outside of his right foot, especially in the attacking 18-yard box. You do not have the luxury of time and space. The right decision is to continue the momentum, to secure the ball, retain possession, have a good look on goal. But it's going to be interesting, Joe. We talked to Sean McCauley ahead of this match, and he said, look, we actually played well against Lou City, just the inability to close games out. They conceded in the 94th. So can they learn from those mistakes here on the road?
Dambrot. To the end line, Dambrot squares it back. Chance here, Bedouin feeds it across, shout for a handball, play on. Oh, we're gonna need a closer look at that one. Floated back over the top, it's out for a corner. Brought to you by IBEW Local 26. Loudoun adamant that they should have been at the spot. And we're seeing a look here, we can't show it to you yet. There's a corner set to be taken. Clearly not a handball. It looked like it the way the arm flailed, but good call by the referee. Now from the corner, dropped in, back post, and it's snared by Salt.
Good decision, but notice how quickly Aiden Stanley gets down to his foot. It's inside of his left thigh that catches this ball. There's no handball whatsoever. It's a fantastic no call by our center referee, and he uses his knee to clear it. Fantastic defending from Aiden Stanley.
That play comes straight out of the Matrix. The way he was able to contort his body away from the ball, his hand rather, away from the ball, and then knee it away. They don't teach you that one in defending school. You kind of got to figure it out on your own.
I've seen you do that in pickup, right? Look how quickly comes across first. It's a last-ditch defending effort right there. There's Florian Velo. He's at the doorstep waiting for a secondary option.
Game a twister there. Right knee yellow, left hand red. Indy up a goal, down a man. They're defending with 10 here. Red card by Deespe 10 minutes ago. Headed across frame, it's Leggett. It's still loose. Swing and a miss from Leggett. Knocking on the door, Loudoun. Even if it's just a point that they rescue, it could be an all-important point when all is said and done. Dambrot shoved off the ball. Ryan Martin thought it was a foul. He has to be careful, though, remember, Ryan Martin. He picked up a yellow for arguing in the first half. Don't want to have your manager miss your match now on Saturday. A big one coming for Loudoun against Rhode Island. Indy will take on Detroit. Two to go. Back to Farouk. Everybody behind the ball now for Indy. They're not really even in a defensive shape anymore. It's just a 9-player amoeba. Ryan was looking for it. Learman. Crowd wanted him to shoot. Center back plays it through instead. Pinball's around, cleared.
But again, Loudoun United, they continue to try to give that extra pass when you're about 11 yards away from goal. The first one is great. The second one, you need to be a bit more ruthless in your mentality and pull the trigger.
Another one over the top. Edouard had it lined up. Headed away by Ofemu. McCabe. Learman tried to drive it through. Once Farouk settles this and gets it upfield, it might present the last chance now for Loudoun with 30 seconds to go. It's either going to be 3 points for Indy or these two teams sharing a point. Here we go. Last try for Loudoun. McCabe out wide. Delivery cleared. Well done by Stanley to get his left foot on it. Out to midfield. 10 seconds to go. Farouk's going to come up. One last heave. Everybody forward. Velo. Space for McCabe. Cuts underneath. Forced back. Has to hurry. Referee can blow the whistle. Dummy through. Flag stays down, but it's too long. Out for a goal kick, and that should do it. Indy on the goal by James Musa, going to pick up all 3 points tonight on the road here at Segra Field.
The same theme over the course of the 2 minutes that Loudoun United was continue to push for the equalizer. If you're Drew Skundrich, you do not have the real estate to let this ball come through your legs. Secure it, retain possession yet again, and give you a second opportunity to put it into the mixer. Ryan Martin has to be very frustrated how this game closes out.
And there is the final whistle. Indy's late season surge continues after they fell in the US Open Cup semifinal. Since then, 3 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, and they're now in position to host a playoff game.
Game came down to personality, came down to grit, and it came down to one player making a play in the final third. And that play was James Musa. Give credit to Sean McCauley. Pressed every single right button to get a massive 3 points for Indy 11.
We are back in just a moment to wrap things up from Leesburg. All smiles on the Indy side. Loudoun falls at home to 11. 1-0 the final.
The season is right around the corner.
It's two of the best teams in DC going head-to-head.
Unstoppable. The season is upon us, and tonight, the battle for bragging rights in the district.
It's one of the most exciting times in the year in sports.
Knifing through the middle, gets in for the scores.
One team looking to make history.
Full slate of highlights and games on game night later tonight at 11 p.m.
An unlikely goal-scoring hero tonight for Indy 11. It's James Musa and his 200th appearance in USL Championship, his 11th goal. The center back also played as a midfielder in his time in USL. Not a likely goal-scoring source, but he is the difference maker tonight, Ricky.
Doesn't matter who scores, just as it needs to be efficient for Sean McCauley. And the way that they approached this game, they were going to make life very difficult for Loudoun United to break through, but then they were going to express themselves in the final third, especially set pieces on the road are a fantastic way to kickstart the attacking phase of the game. Ben Ofemu cannot believe this ball does not find the back of the net. And this was the best opportunity for Loudoun United. Had a really difficult time getting things generated in the final third. Robbie Dambrot does everything right. Big right paw from Sol to deny and keep it 0-0.
And it seemed like Indy was going to find that break. The more likely of the two to find it, and they do right here.
Again, Hugo Faru elects to come off of his line. This ball needs to go up and away from traffic. Now you give Indy 11 the second opportunity to put it into the mixer, cause a little bit of chaos, and this is just James Musa, first to react, first to get there, up and over. Hugo Faru gets caught off his line. He does have no help from the players behind him. One goal, Indy 11, they take the lead, and this is just reckless from Adrian Dispe. Comes across from Bidois, the swooping motion from the backside, sees him take an early shower, up a goal, down a man for Indy 11.
They would hold on despite that, but they will be without Dispe this weekend in the 11 when they take on Detroit. And that is now a battle, Ricky, of number 3 versus number 4. The other match to highlight this weekend, it's Loudoun taking on Rhode Island, 6 versus 8. A lot's going to change between now and the end of the season, but it's all to play for, all tight right now.
I would expect Indy 11 to have a very similar performance like we saw here at Loudoun. Get compact defensively and try to make one play, win this game, maybe one by one goal, excuse me. And for Loudoun United and Rhode Island, what a massive game that will be for Ryan Martin's side.
It seems like Charleston's just about locked into second place. Louisville's obviously locked into first. But this Indy team, they were in third for a while this year, and they are within striking distance of third once again with 3 big points on the road against Loudoun United. For the crew that makes this possible, and broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malva saying so long for now. Make sure you come back to a full slate of USL matches tomorrow night. A busy Wednesday. The finish line is in sight, and Indy picks up a big 3 on the road against Loudoun. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.